Welcome back to No Nonsense. What a roundup we have. Still very relevant, I feel, even on a Friday morning, to talk about the Champions League in 2026, in March 2026. Just for the historians who find this,
the archive,
people who find this and go, what was life like before the war, the big war? I don't know. It was a Saturday night. It all kicked off last Saturday night. I was just watching it all, reading it all, just fucking freaking out. 50% of the world oil. Scary statistics going out there. Recession already happening. I was walking into town Saturday night. The pump was 194. Like, fuck, that's high. Sunday morning, I was walking. It was 199. I was like, where did that change? And that's not
Yeah.
literally that happened between the 12 hours it took me to get out of bed from Saturday night to Sunday morning. I was like, it's happening. This is it. To the point where I sat down on Tuesday night to watch Newcastle Barcelona, and I felt a wave of happiness come over me where I was like, oh, this is good. I like this now. This is nice. This is
That's funny. I had the opposite effect from football this week. Whereas whenever I was watching, I'd say I was watching the Tottenham game, it was like this noise in my brain that was just going from quiet to louder, just being like screeching nearly of something's not right.
Yeah, well, different strokes, different folks, I guess. But yeah, I did. I sat down. I was like, this is like a classic game. There's great atmosphere, and watching Barcelona is like watching just a different sport. They don't play the Premier League ball, Arteta ball, whatever. Whoever you want to place the blame at, it's all like 5'7" midfielders just zipping around, pass the ball around the corner. It's like, whoa, look at these guys go. Look at these little guys go. Yeah, that was the first game. It was not the first game, but it was a great kind of a Champions League feel to it. Not that Newcastle are a Champions League staple, but maybe the kind of nostalgia you're used to on Premier League years or whatever. I'd see that kind of mid 2000s, early 2000s Newcastle side in the Champions League, and I guess as a competitive side, they do bring a good atmosphere when they're playing a big team.
Yeah, they have it's that whole thing we always talk about, like a big club or a real club. They are kind of a real club. They have the atmosphere and the venue and the I know they haven't won much, but they have the history of they've played lots of big games.
Yeah, I know I always say this. I said this multiple times on this podcast over the 5 years we've been doing this, that the big club thing, if someone's telling you how big their club is, you can be almost guaranteed they haven't won the league in the last 5 years. Because if they had, they'd be talking about that. Instead, they're talking about how big their, financial might is or whatever you want to define big. Is it a fan base? Is it like your impact in Asia? What is a big club? You look at Newcastle, there's that is by many metrics a big club. But then you go, oh, well, how big are they in Vietnam? It's like, well,
yeah,
who cares, But yeah, no, they are I think they're a perfect club for a Champions League night where it's like, all right, this is going to be a tough game. I thought this was going to be like a hammer for them, to be honest. I thought Barcelona were going to just kind of outclass them. But yeah, they really put up them. And they could have won that game. But and this sounds kind of obvious to say, but if they had better players, Will, they would have won that game. Simple. It's just, if they had spent the hundreds of millions on better players than Antti Langa and Harvey Barnes,
yeah.
It was so funny because I was watching the game. It was 0-0 for a lot of it, and it was your man. He the left back. He was on Yamal. Lewis Hall. He was like a fucking Luke Shaw regen out there. He was just
yeah. There's
just powering away from Yamal. He's strong. He's really fast. He's just powering up that wing. And this is nailed on for a Lewis Hall man the match moment here, because it's gonna be 0-0. No one's going to score, and he's not being roasted by Yamal, so therefore you get man of the match. And he had some good runs, and again, he put good balls in the box, which Oslu and others couldn't finish. But Alanga put in a few balls that were good, in the right area, but it wasn't. I feel like a better winger would pick somebody out. There was a moment there where Rafinha put in a great ball, and Lewandowski just reached for it. A 37-year-old would reach for the ball. If he was only 3 or 4 years younger. That's going right in the bottom corner. But that ball was to Lewandowski. It wasn't like where Lewandowski might be. It was like, but just the finishing and the players, or the quality that Newcastle didn't have, was what cost them. Did you see the Harvey Barnes goal, actually?
No, I didn't actually see the Newcastle Barca game at all. That was one that totally slipped by because I was all caught up in Tottenham town.
Yeah, I to be honest, not to pat myself on the back too much, because it's not that big a prediction. It was like, this is going to be just a hammer for Tottenham, and I've seen that like 4 or 5 times this year. Like I don't know what else this is going to prove. And then,
I wanted to see, was it going to be the hammering, though, the one that's like, there it is, that's the one that did it.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I'm not sure what it is that you want done.
Yeah.
Shooters,
just the one that gets played in all of the reeling in the ears and those type of things. It's like a Tottenham disaster, and like, look at how terrible they are.
Well, you know what's for me, it was like, it's the last 16 game. Again, going out on a limb, I don't think Tottenham are going to win the Champions League. So either they get through this leg. No, I'm still, look, a lot of people would say, are you sure about that? But I'm going to say no. So they either get through this against Atletico Madrid, and they go out the next round, or maybe the next round after that. But like, they might go on a run, but the odds are, even if they go on this kind of counterintuitive run versus how they're doing in the league, I just thought they're not going to win the Champions League. Not this team, the way they're playing with like their third manager of the year. No, second manager of the year, sorry. It's not going to happen. So like, I don't care how much they lose by. I just thought Newcastle, Barcelona would be a better game, and I think I was right. From the highlights. I don't know. You tell me. How was the Newcastle Atletico, or Atletico Tottenham? Sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a better game. It was a bit of a spectacle, all right. Just because, 15 minutes into the game, it's all over, and the keeper Kinsky, who's coming on, Vicario, you're not cutting it anymore. Big call from the manager. We need a new goalkeeper in. Putting all my faith in you, fella. Then he gives the ball away twice, I think, within 50 minutes, 2 goals. And the other goal, I think, came from a Van de Ven slip. So all over in 15 minutes. Keeper instantly subbed off. All of the Tottenham players go over to console him, which I've never seen before. Being like, man, don't let it really get you down. It's just a game. But in the midst of this, a lot of people point this out, and the TNT pundits especially were fuming at this, and I saw Joe Hart was fuming at it.
Joe, you said in commentary you were heartbroken seeing this. Tell me why.
I broke my heart. The players know. He knows. Look, he's had a bad 14 minutes. There's absolutely no getting away from it. Even the stadium's feeling sorry for him at the moment. You see, Tudor doesn't even acknowledge his goalie. Does not even acknowledge him. If that's man management, then I do not. I'm flabbergasted.
Joe, that's man management at its very, very worst.
Yeah, I don't think he's a great man manager. I don't know what the secret to success at like Juve and Marseille and other places where he pulled the rabbit out of the hat, but it wasn't arm around the shoulder stuff. That's for sure. I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago while I was talking about Harry Redknapp should take over. Harry Redknapp was asked about taking over Tottenham again, doing a job for them. He was speaking to TalkSport, naturally, about it. And they're saying, would you come back, Harry? And he said, I got a phone call last week from Daniel, funny enough, Daniel Levy, former Spurs head on show. I think I spoke to him once since I left all that time ago. 2012, I'm pretty sure. I was in the car last week and suddenly the phone goes, it's Daniel Levy. I thought, that's strange. And I was on the phone for half an hour chatting to him, and he was explaining what had happened to him and how he got marched out of there, which was really strange.
That is weird. Why the hell is he telling Redknapp?
Presumably because he knows he won't keep his mouth shut about it. He'll go directly on TalkSport and tell everybody without him having to go and talk for himself. And he said to me, if I was there now, I'm not just saying this, I would bring you back in until the end of the season. I mean, look, me, Dan Levy, great minds think alike. It seems like the right move. I guess the only thing is, do you need somebody who's a bit more, who's been in the league more recently than Harry Redknapp in 2012. So what I'm now proposing, Will, is Harry Redknapp with a joint staff of Ryan Mason in there as well. I think that's how Ryan Mason alone isn't powerful enough. He doesn't have the same. Harry Redknapp comes in, arm on the shoulder, says, lads, you're the best players in the bloody world. you know, and then, you know, Ryan, do the tactics.
Right. Okay, here's how we're actually going to win. It's funny because that Daniel Levy call, like, it's very strange for him to be ringing up people being like, if I was still in charge, this is what I'd be doing. But I don't know if you spotted this little piece of news. I saw this on Reddit, and then it was cross-posted. So it was on the football Reddit, but it was cross-posted from the Spurs one.
Right.
Because that's where you get the real news. Here's one. Daniel Levy blamed for Spurs' woes by Chief Executive. Executive Vinay Venkatacham, I think I'm pronouncing that right, criticised the running of the club under the former chairman during a fan advisory board meeting. So essentially, the board are meeting the fans now and they're saying, look, this mess we're in, it was all Levy's fault.
Yeah. It was actually Pete Hegseth who convinced me to bomb Iran. And I think Ricky Rubio as well. Not Ricky Rubio. Not Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio. I think Ricky Rubio is a basketball player.
He was the Timberwolves point guard many years. Yeah. Marco Rubio. Sorry, Marco Rubio. He was, you know, it's Trump levels of throwing the other guy under the bus. It was actually all the people who said we should sack him. Dan Levy said we should sack him. We didn't want it, but he said, I want to be sacked. No, I don't want to retire. I want to be sacked. I saw a few different takes where it's like, yeah, Tottenham maybe need to go down, you know, which invariably come from non-Tottenham people. You know, who are just like,
I saw Gary Neville said it'd be great for the Premier League to have a big club go down.
Yeah, Man United? No, that would be bad actually. Just Tottenham. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to judge on the outside, but yeah, I don't know. I saw the Kinsky slip. The two mistakes he made. I mean, that pitch, everyone was slipping all night. Like, to be fair, it was obviously he was the main. It's when you're the last guy in defense. You know what I mean? So when you slip, the ball goes on the net. You know, you slip in midfield, it's like, oh, there may be an attack, but like, I think that pitch was insane. You know, I don't know if there's any kind of standard that has he met for the pitch in terms of like, I don't know, grippiness, but like, I feel those tests were not done by the refereeing staff before the game.
I don't know if you saw Van de Ven also did an interview after the game. And again, when you want the real news, you go to the Reddit, because this is something I wouldn't even known existed. I saw this a few posts under. So Van de Ven did an interview with Dutch media after the game, and all in Dutch. But at the start of the interview, the interviewer basically told the people watching what had just happened in Dutch, because there was a representative from Spurs with Van de Ven at the time. And he said, well, thanks for joining us, folks. We were hoping to get an interview with someone from Spurs. We were waiting quite a long time. Jed Spence was supposed to come out. He ended up not coming out. Someone else was supposed to come, didn't come. Van de Ven has kindly agreed to the interview. But just to let you know, folks, his representative here has told us that we're not allowed to ask him about the current state of the club, any questions about relegation. We can only ask about this game. To which Van de Ven replies, again, all in Dutch, he goes, don't worry, you can ask me about whatever. And Van de Ven goes on a big, like, spiel of, like, look, I'd love to say, you know, we just have to stay focused and go to the next one, but everything's really going against us right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. This is the opposite of what you want in a relegation. Or not even relegation, but when things are going badly. You don't want...
He is vice captain, yeah, and he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, him and Romero are captain, vice captain, and they're like getting sent off, they're getting suspended, they're going out on Instagram stories, posting like cryptic shit. They're coming out in interviews being like, yeah, like, I'll talk about, I don't care, but I don't respect this guy's authority because we're not on the same team. He just works for the club that I play at. That's his perspective on it. And that's not what you want. You to be able to look in the eye of the fucking lunch lady and go, yeah, you, me, we're all trying to get out of this relegation. They don't care. They're like, I'll be gone out of here. And like, they probably will. But like, if you're a Spurs fan, this is all bad news. None of this is good.
Yeah. And then probably the last Spurs note, because again, like, of course they got hammered in the Champions League. Like I said, they're fucking battling relegation. But the last note was, you know, we said maybe they need someone in to fix this problem. Someone who has Premier League experience as well, though. Maybe a Sean Dyche. Came out today that Sean Dyche has no interest in taking the job, even though Spurs are interested in him, which is probably the most damning indictment you can get as a club that's circling the drain, that even Dyche is like, I don't know about this one.
Well, like, I know Dyche. I know what his next plan is, but like, okay, he did well at Burnley, right? I give him that. I will give him that. Okay, a lot of managers got teams up the Premier League. Yeah, they went down eventually, like Sean Dyche did with Burnley. Terrible Everton. And then Nottingham Forest, like, oh, the owner's crazy. Like, well, he fucking turned a Europa League qualifying team, Europa Conference League qualifying team into relegation stalwart with basically the same team, except for Langa, who I watched against Barcelona. He's not fucking a Rafinha level. Like, how did he end up at Leeds? It's like, no, I know why he's at fucking Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. There's no mystery around Langa.
No. And it's funny because every time Rafinha's on the ball and he does something bad, it was like the former Leeds Rafinha. And then every time he does something good, it was like the Brazilian superstar Rafinha. It's like
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. Ballon d'Or third base, Rafinha. And then he gives all away. That's Leeds for you. But Alanga is not, So if he takes on Spurs, he will get relegated because, again, he's not a former Spurs man. What's he going to say? Keep it tight, no messing around. You can
They've tried that.
You can tell these Spurs players are like beyond that. They don't respect anybody at the club. They just want to get out. They hate it there. Whatever has gone wrong has gone really wrong. But like, yeah, I don't know who can save them from this, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I will say one more thing about Atletico Madrid. Every time I see Julian Alvarez play, I'm like, thank God City sold him. Thank God Pep didn't like the cut of his jib, because how many more points have they picked up with him barreling down, on the breakaway?
Yeah, you do forget about when City won the treble and when they were absolutely flying it. They did have a guy there in case Haaland wasn't banging them in, which he's not at the moment. So it's like, all right, I guess we've no plan up front. We'll just try ignore that.
When they didn't have De Bruyne because he was more injury prone towards the end, they played Julian Alvarez number 10 and Haaland up front. And look, okay, it wasn't as good as the best version of De Bruyne, but it was like, that's a very good replacement to have, So that's the difference. But yeah, how far do you think Atletico Madrid can go based on this? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like they could not have got a better draw. Again, and even just the luck Tottenham have at the moment. Again, like, two of those goals really had very little to do with Atletico Madrid.
No,
do you know what I mean?
it was crazy kind of. And like for the rest of the week as well in Champions League, other goalies, and I heard Courtois was like, he wrote to Kinsky, like, keep your head up, pal, don't worry about it. But like they're all making mistakes themselves, like doing like in solidarity with Kinsky. Just like, we're all going to make a mistake. Like, get the pressure off this kid,
I did see David De Gea tweeted, like, no one will ever know until they play the game. Keep your head up, Kinsky.
Yeah. It is funny, like, with French footballers, especially ones who've been around the limelight for a while. They either like tweeted it publicly, or they'll say, yeah, I messaged him. It's like, I didn't ask about that. Like,
Yeah.
It was why are you telling me that? It's like, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy.
It's funny too, because if you're playing Spurs and that happens, and you're the keeper of the other team, you're definitely on the pitch like, yes.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, fucking Courtois, do you think he texts Donnarumma to keep his head up for the second leg? Don't worry, you'll come back stronger, Like,
no way was that a penalty.
Yeah, no, it's like, yes, thank God that's not me. But I think that's the worst thing for Spurs. They'll look at this as if it was like literally in a different league. They're in the same competition as you, technically still. They could mathematically, or whatever, still face them next, but like, well, they're out. They're obviously fucking jokers. That poor kid doesn't belong to this level. I'll send him a text. I'll get Kinsky's number from someone and text him because he's obviously not at this level.
Yeah, and we mentioned there Donnarumma giving away that penalty. There was an incredible quote from that game. I don't know if you saw this. So Donnarumma went to the referee after the whistle blew for the penalty, and he said, "Why are you acting like a big shot? You're acting like a big shot. Why are you acting like a big shot?" A few seconds of silence pass. He then added, "Why are you giving me a yellow card?"
the second of silence, presumably when he got the card out of his pocket. Yeah.
Are you listening to me, big shot?
Oh, God. Yeah. No, I mean, all the English teams, all the Premier League teams played poorly or lost. I mean, like, Tottenham, I think, for all intents and purposes, are out. Chelsea lost 5-2 to PSG. I think they're out too. I know they're going back to Stamford Bridge, but I think they're out as well.
I know they scored 2 in that game, but they didn't score 5. PSG were able to score 5 past them. That's a lot of goals.
And that was also from a goal mistake, one of the goals, which was, like I say, every goal he was just doing a Kinsky out there.
By the way, I don't know if you saw Enzo Fernandez kissing and pointing to the Club World Cup badge, which some people have been pointed to, like, because remember they beat PSG in the final, so some people
How could I forget, Will?
It's a shot. Yeah. Some people were saying, like, oh, what a ridiculous shot to take, and like have some class, and like who cares about the Club World Cup? We mentioned this like a week ago. Reece James accidentally pointed to the wrong crest. I think it could have been that again.
I think you feel for the emblem of something. That must be the badge.
Yeah.
What else could it be, you know?
Why would it be there?
Yeah. Yeah. Like this, of course, was the Club World Cup rematch that we're all anticipating, but they did just seem a bit better than the Chelsea. It's not that I think 5-2 is, you know, insurmountable, but I just think like Palmer got taken off and Pedro just didn't play well. But I don't think that they had an off night. I think it was just like PSG are just like kind of better than them in midfield and defence. It was like, now look, I could be wrong here, but I just feel like if it was even 4-2, you'd say maybe they might be as good as them at home, might be able to get a draw or something. I don't know, but like 5-2 is like you're going to have to beat them by 3-0, 4 goals to 1.
Yeah, PSG.
Come on.
Yeah, PSG aren't going to score. I doubt it.
I don't know if you heard a great interview with Rossinier after the game where he was talking about like how, you know, because everyone's obsessed with like the defenses of the Premier League. It's like, how does this game differ from what you faced in the Premier League? It's like, well, we don't face Doué, we don't face Barcola, we don't face Dembele, we don't face Vitinha. Like that's the difference. It's not styles of play. It's like these players are unbelievable. They're better than ours. So, like, you know, fair enough. I mean,
how come the corners thing didn't work this
time?
Yeah. Liam?
He was looking for an X's and no answers. Like, do you see those fucking players? They had the fucking Ballon d'Or out there. He scored against us. Did you see it? Yeah. Liverpool also drew. Oh, they lost to Galatasary.
Lost 1-0, yeah.
Which people are kind of writing off. It's like, oh, well, they'll bring them back to Anfield and they'll win that. On recent years, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's a foregone conclusion, I'll say, you know. But
I mean, it's one of the most damning things that can happen to your club in a season, but it depends what Liverpool show up.
Yeah, it's yeah, you face them at the start of the year versus the end of the year or in the middle. You know, they've been going through a different period this year for sure. It does feel like the season is starting to peter out. There was rumors on the line about Alonso verbally agreeing, which is obviously just like so tenuous. You know, online rumors that he's verbally agrees. All right, so nothing. There's no news. Like,
well, again, I always think in times like this. Now we do say like you think these Premier League clubs are smarter than they are, they're more well run than they are. Usually they're not.
Yeah.
Usually the most obvious thing is what happens. But stuff like X agrees to Y in the summer when you already have a manager who has like 2 years left on his contract. It's like, well, that's blatantly illegal. That's not happening. Or like if it is, no one's knowing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but at this point, if you were to sack Slot because you've got knocked out of Champions League, I know they haven't yet, but you know you're not going to the league, you're not going to Champions League, you're out of the top 4. We need to sack him. It's like, and then what? You bring in, you know, Alonso or Ryan Mason or whoever,
some kind of team of the two.
Yeah, like it's the smart thing I'd say would be just let the season kind of run its course, and then we'll all just look back on this, even though I've already decided that this wasn't a good season, and you bring in Alonso in the summer, and he basically has to start. I mean, for Alonso, it's not a good year to be unemployed with the World Cup because you're basically starting at the end of July, especially with Liverpool. Most of the players are going to be at the World Cup,
yeah.
So you won't get them back till whatever. But yeah, so I think that's where Liverpool are at now. I think it's going to kind of peter out. They'll make a half-hearted push, but I think, again, if we're seeing these rumors, the players are seeing them too. That like,
yeah, they don't have to be true for him to have an impact.
For them to feel like this guy's gone in the season.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I don't have to worry about this guy, what he says. You know, a new guy comes in and all the sins are admonished because like that was the old guy's fault. I'm still a good player, me. You know. So yeah, I don't know. Like I think maybe they will. People are kind of like, oh, they'll get through this, but no further. I don't know if they will get through this. You know, they're 1-0 down. If they can't score, like I mean, they looked bad against Galatasary, who were decent as well. I mean, you can't think, oh yeah, Turkey, because the Turkey of the 2010s was like the Saudi Arabia of now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they had a good team there for a second, with like Drogba with still a little bit left in the tank. Schneider left a little bit left in the tank. Abue at one point. It's like, yeah. And then but they're all, 35 plus. Osimhen is one of the best strikers in the world. Like, make no mistake.
And 10 years ago, Galatasary wouldn't be able to compete with the financial might of a Chelsea or something. And they would never have a chance of even getting him. But remember his contract was up and they gave him a new crazy deal because everyone has money now. it's fine.
My point is that they're a semi-decent team. I don't know if they'll win the whole thing, but they're not as bad as you might think, So yeah, I don't know. And then Arsenal, of course, as well. They were very, very lucky to get a draw against Leverkusen. It was two immovable objects. It was Arsenal versus the German Arsenal, or maybe the Leverkusen versus the English Leverkusen. I don't know. Two very defensive sides. They scored from set piece, a very well worked set piece, and then it was just it was like a 90-minute sumo wrestling match.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to get the guy out of the ring for 90 minutes, and then every now and again he would stumble, and the other sumo wrestlers would kind of anxiously kind of rush in, but then not too fast because I don't want to get knocked out myself. It was another tough watch.
Which we said this is how it's going to be for every game for the rest of the season. A nightmare, and then at the end you go, not so bad actually.
Yeah, and then they got a pretty dodgy penalty at the end. I mean, there was contact, 2 feet up in the air. It was a classic case of referee gives that, VAR can't technically overturn it because there was contact.
Yeah.
Referee doesn't give that. VAR checks that, 30 seconds. Yeah, no chance.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was makes no sense. Just that's...
It's a major flaw in the system.
Yeah, it's either definitely a penalty or, it's definitely not a penalty. Depending on if the ref wants to call it or not, But that was the last of the game. Kai Havertz, who came back. We were watching that game, myself and Sarah, and I was I forgot who I was talking to for a bit, and I said, do you think he'll celebrate? It's why wouldn't he? I was oh, well, let me tell you. And if she had no interest in soccer, she now hates it. She's that is the dumbest thing. She said that's some kind of royalist kind of ceremony bullshit that you might see at Buckingham Palace or something. That's what she described it as. Fair enough, I guess. It's just the whole music celebration, not for her. Doesn't like that at all. I tried to explain they had signs for Kai Havertz in the crowd, and I was sometimes they don't do it because they get so much abuse in the crowd, but she wasn't having it, and I was this is the dumbest thing that you do. You're watching this stuff, but
it'd be very funny when, like you said, you just kind of without thinking, we're do you think he'll celebrate? And if she instantly was nah, probably mooted celebration. He had a lot of time there.
And I'd be did you say muted or mooted? Because you said mooted, that means you've listened to me in the podcast. You said you didn't. So yeah, look, they go back to the Emirates, and another, I feel, really an anxiety-filled performance is are they going to do it in the Champions League with all this pressure? I don't think so.
The quad talk is spiraling, Gal.
Everyone keeps up with the quad.
Have you learned nothing? Have you learned nothing from us over the years?
Well, this is the part of the fun. I think everyone knows now. It's they're not going to actually do the quad, so it's fun to kind of say it because it's building them up, tearing them down. There goes the quad. They'll say if Arsenal win 2 cups, like with Liverpool a couple years ago,
exactly,
we're 2 games away. I never made fun of them.
A parade for 2 trophies. Yeah.
Exactly. They've won 2 trophies, 2 cup trophies. And that's it. The expectation is the Premier League, Champions League, and the 2 trophies, and you win 2. So I think it is. It's just another way to kind of tear somebody down. But they were the other English teams. But the biggest, I would say, Champions League rivalry of the night was probably City Real Madrid. That's served up some unbelievable ties over the last, 4 or 5 years, probably. The famous run of Real Madrid where they shouldn't have won any of the games they won. They won the whole Champions League. They beat Liverpool, Chelsea, City on the way to the title. It seems to be how they do it, actually. That's what PSG did last year. They beat Aston Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool. You got to beat all the English teams. The behemoths, the giants of the Premier League have to fall before you can win the Champions League these days. But I thought this would be a closer game, to be honest.
Again, it's felt like this since the start of the season, since last season, where it's just like, I said that, you know, you never know what Liverpool is going to show up. Man City is the same, and it feels like the whole fear factor of them is totally gone as well. Like, you can see them getting beat by anyone, which is mad.
Yeah. And again, they were also off the quad
Yeah.
before this. But it's like, yeah, something has to give. I think Champions League, it was a realistic chance for them, I guess. Again, before this, I thought so. And before the game, it was like they're missing Bellingham and Mbappe, and City have everyone. And then Federico Valverde becomes the best player in the world in 25 minutes.
Yeah, he scores 2 of the goals of the season.
Yeah, so I don't know. And they had Rodri, they had everybody. There's really no excuses. They had Haaland, did my shot on target again, because, you know, I think that's probably the biggest failing of this side, is that they don't know how to get Haaland into the game if they're up against it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he's a one-dimensional player. I don't think or the League One movement, or whatever the fuck Roy Keane said that one time. I think it all comes down to like the rigid systems that you employ. And when they don't work, there's no like, okay, right, let's do something else. Let's try and get hand the game here. You know, it just didn't happen for him at all. But yeah, I mean, the first hat-trick, like I said, 25 minutes it all happened. The first one was the kind of goal that never goes in. You know, the long ball over the top, you just take a chance on it and you go, I'm just going to touch it first time in front of me. And I'll be ahead of him then. And he did that perfectly. Well, almost perfectly. Because then, like, okay, it's actually going to go to keeper. He can get that now.
I was going to try
to Donnarumma, yeah. But Donnarumma for some reason thought, what am I, 6'11", 6'12"? I'm probably out of the box, am I? I can't touch this. And then to his horror, he looks down as he skids past the white corner of the box, like, now he's in. You know, like if he'd put his hand down, I was kind of like, well, I'll just stop the goal going down. I don't care if I get booked or whatever, which he should have done. I mean, would that be a red card? Probably. If he was outside the box.
Yeah, probably.
So he thought, I won't get sent off. So I'll lift my hand here above the ball. Valverde was in. And then he still had a lot to do. Great finish. And yeah, that was just kind of unlucky, I guess. It was a goalkeeping error.
Yeah, what can you do about that? Yeah.
Not much you could do about that. It was like Donnarumma was like, it started from Courtois, a long ball, and then one touch, and now he's in. So like in a second, it's gone from Courtois' boot to like he's on me, and I don't know where the box is, and I have to get my 7'2" frame down on this, and he doesn't know where he is. And then, you know, Nico Roddy's like miles off him as well, like he's nowhere near it. So, but then the second goal was just, I think, was a culmination of a lot of pressure that Real Madrid putting them under. You know, they kept coming at them. They had a few of those chances where the ball being put into the box, and yeah, kind of like Newcastle. Doku was getting a lot of joy down that side, but like the balls in were just kind of like speculative. They weren't too high, and they're just like put in the area, and the defenders are too good.
You see a goal like the first Valverde goal, you think like, well, that, like, what can you do about that? That's just a moment of magic. That happens. He does an even more magic goal where he's doing keeping up us in the box over lads' heads. You can't do anything about that. Yeah,
I mean, because the second goal, again, like I say, was a good finish, but it was kind of coming. The third goal, just Fran Garcia barely puts it over. Was it Diaz's head? And then Gay comes steaming in, which he was so close to getting it. If he, you know, it was the right thing to do. He fucking just tips over his head and then hits it on the volley. Again, Donnarumma rushing out too slow or too fast, whatever way you want to say. Like, I mean, that's probably goal of the Champions League, if there is such competition. Goal of the season. That's for the first half hat-trick. Game's over. Tie's over. And like, on top of that, like I said, Doku was going down that wing, Trent's wing, and they were doubling up on him. So who's doubling up on him? Valverde all game. It was like the complete performance. Like, they scored 3 goals first half while also playing right back, essentially. It was, I've never seen a first half performance. And that's the thing. It's like, the game is so over by then. Like, he can't really have like the game of life, because it's like, well, you know, I've done it. Like, there's no need to kill myself. And they just took off all those players like by the second half. So I mean, it was kind of over. But yeah, one of the great performances of the Champions League, even was my 4.5.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. And then could have been worse. Like I said, Donnarumma pulled down Vinicius in the box, or one of those ones where he went sliding in and kind of gave him a tap.
Yeah.
But Donnarumma saved it. I mean, there's whatever about 3-0 down, 4-0 down, it is all over. 3-0, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see this City doing that. They don't feel like that type of a team who like come back from 3-0 down this season. Normally when it's over, it is over.
Yeah, Pepper's writing them off. It's like, we're out now. You know,
He loves that.
I think he loves that. He also said, I think they're a very good team on the low block, which I was like, that's disingenuous. Come on, bro.
Real Madrid.
They beat you 3-0. Come on, like, you know, you're losing the ball in midfield. It wasn't a case of, you know, they were just like intercepting balls, but whatever. Yeah, I feel like they're going to probably focus on the league now. They can win the league. You know, Champions League is. I think they'll probably win 2-1 in Man City. Is my feeling on it.
Yeah, not enough.
Yeah, I think that's how it'll go. 2-1, and then they'll be out of the Champions League. They'll have the League Cup probably the week after, or maybe the week before. I don't know. And yeah, no one said they'll probably win 3 trophies. You know, when they're like they're in the down
Pep
season.
retires as a god.
No, well, Pep signs another 10-year contract, and we all pull our hair out like, fuck. And then we got the charges have been dropped.
There was too many. They lost track of how to count them all. It's over.
Yeah. They were actually destroyed in a cyber attack by the Iranian military mistake. Yeah, it was a good week for the weak league brigade.
Yeah.
You know, Premier League, weak league, Arsenal only winning because everyone else is shit. And also they're shit. You know, because if Arsenal had won 3-0 against Leverkusen, that kind of falls down. But because Arsenal drew with the last minute contentious penalty, it's like, yeah, see, they're shit too. Everyone's shit. Basically not even a trophy to win. Like I said, I think like City are out. Tottenham are definitely out. Chelsea, I think, are out too. In the first knockout round.
Not good for the 5th place Champions League position. I'd imagine that goes to Spain or someone now if everyone gets knocked out in the first chance.
Yeah, it's done on your coefficient or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. And then Liverpool, like I say, they might go through, but I don't think anybody feels that they're going to roar on to the semi-final or final. And then it's Arsenal who are like just terrified of losing a game of football. I think it might be all that, which is good. I mean, it'll probably be. Like I did say when I saw Real Madrid against Benfica, like, these are a good side. These are as good as City. These are good as whoever. Real Madrid do look very strong. In the game I didn't watch, I watched the highlights of a Bayern Munich without Kane beat Atlanta 6-0 or 5-0, was it? Fucking something outrageous. Yeah, I think Atlanta are also out. I think now that wasn't Bayern, so that wasn't Munich, so maybe we'll bring them back to Bergamo. We'll see what happens, but yeah, they might be out. And then, of course, the darkest of dark horses, Bodo Glimt, beat Sporting.
They've done it again.
3-0. Now, we say a lot of places are tough places to go. Bodo Glimt up there in the Arctic Circle. For those Portuguese guys used to the sun,
oh my God.
That is a tough place to go. So we'll see what happens when they go back to Portugal. But yeah, that's who's left in it. We're talking Real Madrid, I would guess Barcelona, of Barcelona Newcastle, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, Bodo Glimt, Real Madrid, maybe Arsenal, maybe Liverpool. I think lump on Bayern. But it's going to be a Bayern Real Madrid. I don't know if they can meet in the final, but whenever they meet, that will be the final.
No matter what happens in football, it's always the same. It's the same teams and the same. Nothing ever actually changes. Don't be fooled.
I mean, Inter were in the final a couple of years, but no one really enjoyed that for some reason.
No, that wasn't fun.
Breaking news, I guess. Iran will not be playing in the World Cup.
It seems that way. There's obviously a lot of wings and people and diplomats and leaders in Iran, but some of them were saying, no fucking way are we going to that stupid World Cup. I would say there are some that are still like, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, well, it's we live in a world of instant reaction for some reason. Very little thought, and opinions and things can just change on a whim. I think Trump was asked about it, and at one point said, I don't care. And then now he's changed his tack, and he's like, they're more than welcome. I know if you bombed the show, your capital city, but you're more than welcome.
Yeah, come here. Yeah, bring 15 of your most famous men here.
Yeah, you definitely won't be fucking detained at any point. Come on, be checked. Come right in. So yeah, the feeling is that it probably won't go ahead. I know what you're thinking. What's it mean for Ireland? Do we get in now? No, unfortunately, probably won't happen that way. We might have to qualify the usual route, but there's a few teams. Iraq seem like the most obvious choice. I think they're in a qualification. They're in a like us. They're in a playoff round. They play the winners of Suriname and Bolivia in the playoff final. So it would make sense that you would move Iraq to the final or to the World Cup, and then Bolivia and Suriname have now been upgraded from semi-final to final, and that's just how it goes. But I think there might be a second country who might also want to go to the World Cup. United Arab Emirates. Do they know anybody in the US? Do they have any strings that they could maybe possibly pull? Because Iraq qualified for the Confederations playoff by defeating UAE across 2 legs in November. So that was the other semi-final. But they lost to Iran, and that's why they're in the playoffs. So what UAE would say is like, well, because Iran now is gone, if we'd ever lost to Iran, if the war happened before and Iran weren't playing, we would have lost.
Just give me the bag of money. I don't care. Yeah, you can go to the World Cup.
Yeah, if I had to guess what Gianni Infantino was going to do,
yeah,
I don't think he cares enough about Bolivia, Suriname, or indeed Iraq. I think UAE is going to get there. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I think that's most likely. And I was thinking this about the World Cup because, we were saying like, oh, it's going to be a dodgy World Cup, like all the ice raids and stuff. And like, are people going to want to go there? And then it was all kicking off in Mexico. I think it's now ramped up an even higher level to be like, oh, aren't these like all going to be attacked probably, or at least like cyber attacked, you would think?
Yeah, well, that's the new reality. It's not that the World Cup season might be bombed. It's like that the lights might go off.
Yeah, you might be locked inside because the Bluetooth door scanner has been hacked.
Because the security system has been activated, and now we've gone into shutdown mode, and they've stopped the water. In whatever fucking US summer heat in like Houston or wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So time will tell how this plays out by June. Things are moving very fast these days. I saw a headline there where Trump endorses Jake Paul's political career.
Oh, I saw that, and I thought, my God, is the nightmare ever going to end?
It's all happening very fast. Things are speeding up as I get older.
We skipped right past Logan. It's straight to Jake for president.
Jake who can't speak for president. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But all these things are just like, are they the distractionary, or is it just kind of stuff is happening? I mean, the longer it goes on, you kind of feel like, I don't think there's a plan. I think they're just like, I think over the last 10 years in his 2 presidencies, Trump has got rid of anybody who would say, hang on, I don't think that's a good idea. And we're left with what's happening. We have that fucking tattooed psychopath talking about Operation Epic Fury, non-ironically, as a way to kill people.
I saw both him and Trump this week. And sometimes this will happen where they'll all start saying something. It's like, right, well, this is a new evil plot they've developed. I wonder what the meaning is behind this. Both Trump and Hexit refused to either speak to, I think, like a Spanish interpreter or translator, or insulted a Spanish interpreter. And they both said the same thing. They said, I don't have time to learn your stupid language. It's like, they want people saying that. That's not good.
Yeah, well, it's what people are saying now, and it has become that kind of cult thing where no matter what happens, if it's insulting a Spanish reporter or bombing a girls' school in Iran, it's like, that's whatever he does is the right thing to do. So, yeah, we'll see how the World Cup goes.
By the way, there's a clip I saw. Did you see Joe Rogan being asked about the UFC card in the White House?
No.
It's very funny because I've never seen him so downtrodden.
Yeah. Are you excited for the White House card? That looks really good.
Yes. I'm excited. It sounds crazy. I know it's going to be very high security and high stress and weird. to have a fight at the White House in the middle of a fucking war. Like, I would hope the war will be sorted out by June, but quite honestly, I'm not confident that that's going to be the case.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that would be weird.
Yeah.
Having this very high-profile event where everybody's in one place at one time right there.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
So you're not excited to be
Well,
there?
that seems like seems like you're asking for.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that at all.
How could you not think of that?
Well, because I'm not going to be there. You're the one that has to think of it.
Yeah.
Well, he's got the money. Well, he's made the money. He's got it clean. You know, he doesn't. That's all he really needed. So good for him. Enjoy the money, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there Premier League happening now? When is the next Premier League game happening, Will? Premier League the weekend?
Mm-hmm. We're back to normal, yeah.
Whatever normal is. We're back to that. Arsenal to win the league. You won't see a happier man than me when Arsenal do that.
I mean, it is now a race against time.
Fuck it is, yeah.
Do it before we're all dust.
Well, that'd be nice too, wouldn't it? In a way.
Yeah, that would be better than the crippling economic war. That's a bad one.
Yeah. I saw a reel. It was like microdosing hell by staying informed.
That is one thing. I know this happens, in times of turmoil and great unrest. The best art is made. We have entered a renaissance era of reels because they're just banging them out at the moment. I saw a great one where it's like Satan welcoming you to hell now. And he's like, oh, you're going to hate it here. We eat babies. It's like, no, we had that. We had that up there, actually.
Yeah, we had lots of that. Yeah, Arsenal play Everton. Could be a potential banana skin. Chelsea, Newcastle. Liverpool, Tottenham. Ooh, tough one for Tottenham. Tough one for Liverpool.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we went to the Tottenham's fixtures a few weeks back, and everyone we played like, oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
When you're the worst team in the league, they're all bad games.
So yeah, we got more of that this weekend, and yeah, then it's next Friday, Saturday. So yeah, it's all good. I think actually next weekend there's the Carabao Cup as well. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because Man City Crystal Palace is postponed here for the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, so Carabao Cup next weekend and the Premier League, and then the weekend after that, it's the Ireland game, Carl. And Paddy Schick is injured. I don't know if you heard that.
I saw that, but he was on the bench. He was back on the bench after a long injury. So yeah, Schick on a stick. That's what they're saying over there. He's injured. He's on crutches. We'll be back Monday with more puns like that, analysis. Stay safe out there. Maybe stay offline.
Yeah. Log out of all your accounts. Change your passwords and everything. What good does it do? No wonder.
Do you know what? At this point, we're past that. We're way past that.
Yeah. Delete everything is really the move.
Yeah. Let this be the last thing you do on the internet. Listen to this episode and give it 5 stars on Spotify if you can.
And then plug it out.
And then delete everything. Just like delete the browser. Just hard
subscribe
swipe.
to the Patreon, $5 a month. Make sure you set that up before you disable everything.
Then delete your bank accounts. Take it all out in cash. Keep it on the mattress. That's probably the way to go. All right. Have a good weekend.
Good luck.
Good luck. Literally, seriously, good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.